This goes into our method and our process. Now, when we're talking about our clients, this is not about taking things away from them, it's about unlocking what they could do. Remember, like, the effort it takes, because you guys are comms, right? You do communications, right? So you will, if you don't know this already, you're going to know this, is 70% of what anyone working in any form of comms department at any stage of what they do is annoying work that someone else could do, but they have to do as part of their job, that they have to accept it. So their decisions, their planning, their strategies, totally informed by the fact that the effort it's going to take to put that out. And then when you try to manage it, the effort it's going to take to have to manage that outside, okay? And the time that takes. For them, they need to be unlocked and to be basically the director of their brand, capable of doing many things. So the first thing we say is, you are the editor-in-chief, you are the brand strategy. We are fundamentally a time machine. We're giving them time that currently does not exist in any other way, and we are enabling their productivity to quadruple and their actual valuable skills to be put to use. About 30% of your time is all the brilliant thinking that you put work into, they just don't have time to do in real life. Happens all the time. This will be very true to you. So we get the brief and the guidelines from them. It can be really complicated, but the point of that is it's what they need done. But we break things down. This is for any form of content. It seems like it's addressing an article, and it is, but this is true for a video. Find information, put it together, structure it, finalize it, render, submit, okay? Revisions, we go through all this. But for terms of this, think about typing and think about doing that better. Fundamentally, based on where we fill in gaps, as I said, with people like you, but also how we utilize tech that has not yet got to market, this is where that becomes special. Okay, this is where tools and technology that are currently where tool development is very high. So we've had spell check for 40 years. People still make spelling mistakes, but God, it has made the process of checking for spelling and grammar so much faster, right? Just think about that principle and then you apply it at scale. Remember I spoke about layers and AI? Fundamentally, whether or not we're using any automation or any technology or AI, we break everything down into different layers, no matter the task, and we're constantly applying those principles and teaching each other our principles of how to do that in neutral ways that you can apply to any situation with anything, right? That's our core skill, people. And that's the sort of thing that we train people on. We have in our AI news feeds via our partner, these are becoming our technologies because we help develop them and they're becoming part of us, but things that can develop with full AI capacity. They can detect stories within a topic, create them, structure them. They run through our editorial teams, but they have all the images and everything, so they are edited up to scratch and published, auto-published. No one else on earth has that technology. We are, like no one else on earth has our IP, no one else on earth has our product offering. And this isn't a boast, I'm just telling you. There isn't, go do your own research, it's true, and now we know for sure. I didn't used to say it that definitively, but there's literally no way now unless someone has done the entire thing and not let a soul on earth know. So, and even if someone tried to do what we did now to catch up, would be unbelievably difficult, even if they had all the money in the world. Actually be the more money, it would be harder because you get in people's way because you aren't efficient in that situation in the way that we've had to be and our partners had to be when they developed their tech and how we developed our tech. They'd have to go through the life experience I went through to understand how to do it, which we know no one did because they didn't have a visa for it until about a year after I got in. And now they don't have that visa anymore. Now you might do it somewhere else, but it won't necessarily happen in this culture. That's just an example. This is where tool development's strong. These are all complicated processes, but there are all these other things. Now there are tools that can help with that, and maybe that might make things more efficient, but that's where we don't have the computing power on earth to mimic human decision making in all the millions of different calculations that our brains are making to decide whether or not something is reputable and how to weight it, especially when they've been trained. Okay, and that's kind of magical because what brings this whole machine together for it to work? People. Right, people that we develop. And that's a really important concept. Never forget that. That is what makes a difference of when people say things like, yeah, but we're going to automate everything. Remember I mentioned that in the call? They always say, oh yeah, they're really silly because they're actually shooting themselves in the foot. And they sell this dream because it's always being sold by people who don't really understand content, actually. All it does is change the layer, right? And then I mentioned how there are all these other random texts available. If you were able to patch the holes, it would become a layer. Us, right? What we're doing. So we bring in human skills, experience, and editorial judgment, particularly in stages where tool development is weak. And then this is effectively just another tool that they use. And then marketers, people in comms, suddenly they start thinking of ways to use us. So our sales strategy now is just have a conversation, and then we let the conversation take place, and they suddenly, when they understand who we are, even though they started with the no, they're like, oh shit, suddenly they think of a use. Everything we make is original, there's no syndication, everything is exclusive and the client has the copyright, and we meet any guidelines they have. We learn it ourselves, and we use tools to learn it, and we maintain a big book on clients. Next. Pricing, we tend to agree things onto retainer, and we tend to do it over time. This is guide pricing only, everything is specific. Some deals are tiny, some deals are small. This is what it's on our website. It's just a way to explain, but the efficiency that we have means that even in the most extreme situations, we're still 40% cheaper than anything else on the market, but we're anywhere between 40% and 95% cheaper than anything else on the market. But as a service, we're alone. We simply don't exist. And that does not even include what it saves you in management overheads and costs. So the real number is very different. Next. Thank you.